Your perfect three-row family SUV is going to be spacious, reliable, comfortable, affordable, and it just might be the Chevy Traverse. And we know three rows. We here at Edmunds, we drive, test, and rate SUVs nearly every week, so we are definitely the people to ask. Now, is the Chevy Traverse the right vehicle for you? Is it going to fit into your lifestyle? We have paired up with the folks at CarMax to give you all of the details so you can decide on your own whether it's right to pick it up or pass it on by. So what do you need to know about the Traverse? Well, this is the second generation of Chevy's mid-size crossover. It's got about the same amount of room for people and things as the larger full-size Chevy Tahoe. It's just that it's not based off of a truck, so you're not going to be able to tow quite as much. The Traverse goes against other three-row SUVs like the Ford Explorer, the Kia Telluride, and the Honda Pilot, but you could end up paying thousands less. When we checked recent price averages, the difference was significant, and that can mean a lot for big families. Now, if you're buying a family SUV, you want to make sure it's reliable and has good crash test ratings, right? Reliability here is okay, it just doesn't really stand out in the crowd. We go to RepairPal, an independent reliability tracker, for this kind of information. And according to RepairPal, the Traverse gets a 3.5 out of 5. Here's why. Average repair and maintenance is about $90 more per year than similar SUVs. Now, although issues here are slightly less frequent than most, there is a slightly higher chance that if you bring your vehicle in for repair, it's going to be for a pretty complicated issue, and that means that your car just might spend more time in the shop. Crash test ratings here are similar. They're good, they're just not outstanding when compared with similar SUVs. NHTSA gave this generation of the Traverse a 5 out of 5 star rating for crash tests, and even the IIHS gave it mostly highest marks for crash tests, and that is good. But the headlights earned a lower rating thanks to some glare and limited visibility at night. So if you live in a place with a lot of unlit roads, that is definitely something to consider. Now, the first reason to buy a Traverse, it is huge. I mean, compared to other three-row midsize SUVs out there, you've got plenty of room in the back for a stroller and a large suitcase on that all-important road trip. You've also got a ton of room inside for your passengers. Now, we do wish that these cup holders were a little bit better, but certainly you've got a ton of room to stretch out here in the second row. And you can even put full-sized adults in that third row. Full-sized adults! Lots of space behind the first row seats also means that you can install a rear-facing car seat without needing to scoot your own seat forward. And y'all, check this out. If you're really loading up the family hauler and the kids need to get into the way back, this whole seat tilts forward. So that means that you don't need to remove that car seat or have kids climb through the middle to get in the back. Space for family and friends is probably the biggest reason you're shopping for a three-row SUV like this one. And unless you're willing to step up to a minivan or a giant or more expensive Chevy Suburban, the Traverse is about as roomy as it gets. But don't worry, the Traverse isn't just good for your passengers. We really like the tech in this SUV. The touchscreen just makes sense even for people who haven't used a system like this before. The simple interface just makes life easier day to day. Of course, most people are going to want to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, both have been standard since 2018 on the Traverse, but in 2022, Chevy added wireless connectivity. And since 2022, every Traverse except for the base LS gets wireless charging, so don't worry about forgetting your charging cord. The largest screen you're going to be able to get is just 8 inches, and that is pretty small by modern standards, but it is really nicely integrated into the interior, and check this out. Plus, I'm grateful that we have actual buttons for controls that I use a lot, like the volume and the air conditioning. Now, the Traverse is pretty good when you get it moving too. Most versions come with a powerful V6, which is really nice for a bigger SUV like this, especially when you're out on the highway and you've got to merge or pass and you've got a car full of people and things. And it's also really comfortable. I mean, the suspension just soaks up these extra bumps and the potholes, and it's quiet. I mean, if you've got little ones in the back that are easily woken up by, going over a bump or maybe a noisy highway, the Traverse is gonna serve you well. Plus, these front seats, you guys, are so comfortable. I mean, we've driven this vehicle for hours at a time. And while everyday comfortability is great, this car would be fantastic for road trips. The only downside is that the fuel economy is just kind of average for an SUV of this size. There are a lot of really hard and scratchy plastics in here. Now, if you're being optimistic, you can think of that as durable or unlikely to be marred by family use. But frankly, there are other SUVs out there that withstand kids with better materials. When we reviewed this Traverse as a new car, all this plastic just seemed too cheap for the price. But like we said, on the used market, the Traverse is a bit cheaper than something like a Honda Pilot, and that makes the materials in here a little bit easier to accept. The other thing is that on older models, only the highest trims had driver assistance technology, so it can be a little bit hard to find on the used market. And before 2021, tech like automatic emergency braking and lane keeping assist were only available as options on the nicer trims. Now, we love adaptive cruise control that automatically adjusts your speed based on the car in front of you. It is a must for road trips. But up until 2022, only the top dog Traverse High Country had that feature. Now, starting in 2022, those driver's aids plus adaptive cruise control and a 360-degree camera became standard on the Traverse RS, Premier, and High Country trims. So if you care about having the latest tech in your vehicles, you should definitely look at 2022 and newer models. So what do you think? Does the Traverse's comfort and space work for your family? Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you next time.